Let's talk about our hopes and dreams beyond the reach it seems. Let's talk. Confess I live in hell. I failed to fall in scheme. Maybe we can find a pathway forward or a clue. So we may together be a symbiotic harmony where I can talk to you, you can talk to me. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk, let's talk, let's talk.
Hello, welcome to the Talk Vermont, a program sharing the interests and concerns of people of color and marginalized communities in Vermont, which, by the way, if you don't know, it happens to be one of the whitest states in the nation. Today, I am pleased to welcome internationally acclaimed as well as internationally controversial artist Janet McKenzie, who lives here in Vermont, who burst into the world spotlight with her painting of Jesus of the People. That's what it was entitled, which won first place out of over 1,600 entries in the National Catholic Reporters Worldwide Art Competition back in 2000. We shall discuss this and other works of Janet, and also get to know her a little bit better. So let's start with getting to know you, Janet. Welcome to this program. It is an honor and a privilege to have you with us.
Thank you, Arnold. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, well.
And I want to thank you because as a visual artist, we aren't asked to discuss our work that much. And I really think it's important for visual artists to stand behind the work they create. Otherwise, our art threatens to languish. And we need support, and we need our art to be carried forward. And so I thank you for this opportunity.
You're most welcome, and your works have certainly addressed a great need especially among people of color, but I would imagine people worldwide, because it presents sacred imagery in ways that has not been all that popular, and so that's one of the reasons I'm celebrating your work, celebrating you as an artist, but also want to get to know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you were born, who were the people and places that inspired your work, and how did you wind up here in Vermont?
Well, I'm from Brooklyn. My father would be very happy to hear me say that. And I had a kind of an immigrant upbringing because my grandmother was from Sweden, and we grew up in a neighborhood where everybody was from somewhere else. And my grandmother would ask me when I made a new friend, where are her people from? So there was always that sense of we had almost just landed. So I've always carried that forward with me. I don't assume anything about people. I had a loving upbringing. My mother, my grandmother, and my father, they all passed away in the same year, young for them. I was 23. And that was an enormous influence on my life because death played a very big part in my evolution as a person and an artist. And it's influenced how I approach my art. And the limited time that we all have on Earth, and how important it is to do something that contributes positively to change. And the one thing that I feel we need desperately is to support one another. And I consider my work a fight for racial justice.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm reminded of the saying, it is not the quantity of one's life, but the quality of one's life. And given mortality and death has factored into the things that influence you, I can understand why the importance of making a contribution while you have time to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I appreciate it. So why Vermont?
Well,
Especially growing up in Brooklyn.
well, I grew up in Brooklyn and surrounding areas. We did, we didn't move, but I did. I reached a point in my life where I needed to start over again. My son was 3 years old at the time, and being a self-employed artist, I just couldn't afford to live in New York. And I wanted something fresh and new for him, for me, for my soul, for me as a mother, and I decided Vermont was the place.
Not just Vermont, but a very remote section of Vermont, Island Pond. It's a beautiful, beautiful town, but it's removed from everything else. How do you find a sense of yourself in that section of Vermont?
Well, I have lived in many places in the state of Vermont. I raised my son Simeon in Burlington at the mouth of the river. It was idyllic. Maybe more for him than me, but it was lovely for those years. Later, I went to an auction in Island Pond. I needed a place to live, and I put my hand up and I bought the property in Island Pond. It was, and I have always felt that really God delivered me there for a reason, and it's been a blessing to have that old house, rugged and hard as it is. I'm grateful for it. It's really contributed to my work.
Well, I'm so glad. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, this episode of the Talk Vermont is taking place here in the Northeast Kingdom, where Janet lives, but in a particular town called Newport, Vermont, where the studios of Northeast Kingdom Television is located. And so I'm grateful for Todd Pronto, the executive director of Northeast Kingdom Television, and Kelby Rodriguez, who is enabling this program to occur here, as opposed to where it would normally occur in Burlington, Vermont. So I'm grateful for their help and their expertise in allowing this to take place. So, Janet, what moved you, a white woman, toward depicting biblical stories and heroes, most commonly rendered through the eyes and likeness of white European artists? What moved you to take a different approach as to how sacred images and religious figures are presented?
Well, I think humanity has a way of viewing one another as we meet each other, and not much beyond that. And I feel that when people see me and don't know me, they would not realize I come from a blended family. And when I decided to broaden my work to include African American people, it was because the people I love the most are African American, and they're part of my family. And it was it was a heart calling initially. And as with most things, it broadens. As you begin, you realize much more. And I realized that what I am really painting, and it doesn't matter who I'm painting this universal connection we all have to one another, where we are all created equally, beautifully, majestically in God's likeness. And I feel that I can be most useful during this lifetime, for whatever time I have left, to put art that is as beautiful and inclusive as possible, so I can remind people who see it to look at one another with inclusive love. Mm. And it comes from that place. I always tell myself, it's not complicated. I do this inclusive art, and I hope it becomes ordinary, not extraordinary. Mm-hmm. So people are not shocked and surprised and angry or fearful. It's simply about humanity being equal. Mm.
That is an important message that we should all learn from. Unfortunately, when the work that burst you onto the world stage, Jesus of the People, came out, there was a lot of resistance, a lot of pushback.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that? I know it may be difficult, but it's important for people to hear.
Well, 25 years ago, there was a call out for art, new interpretations of Jesus from the National Catholic Reporter. They wondered if people were thinking of Jesus as this important millennium approached. Y2K was everywhere. Mm-hmm. I received a notice from a friend out west and said, I think you might be interested in this. But I never had been interested in taking on the challenge of painting Jesus. It was just too big. But there was something about it that I really felt called to take a second look at.
Before you go any further, mm-hmm. I'm wondering if we can pull up the image of the work Jesus of the People. Ah, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Long story short, you could submit 3 images. I only had one. Mm-hmm. I had 3 weeks to create it, and I painted it alone. I did not have the model stand in front of me, who was a woman, Maria Hill. Saying her name right now in conjunction with Jesus of the People is one of the first times, because we kept her name a secret for many, many years. And I have her permission to incorporate her name at this point. Mm-hmm. She did not stand in front of me. I painted her from memory, because my hope was to create an image of Jesus that brought the male and female aspect as close together as possible. So the painting would be so broadly inclusive, racially, in terms of gender, so as many people as possible could find themselves within this image.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that the model that inspired this work mm-hmm. Was a female. She was also black.
Yes.
And many people, when they look at this work of yours, some people say it's a male figure, and other people mm-hmm. say it's a female figure. But you've informed me that you really want to impress upon people the sort of androgynous or the non-binary image of unconditional love.
That's
this painting personifies or conveys.
Well, that's my hope. Mm-hmm. And I feel, to be honest, I feel I'm only the technician that this painting was called to be here, because for these 25 years, it has caused good trouble in the world, as John Lewis said.
Yes, yeah.
And it's amazing to me that the hate that has followed me and the work, but also the love. There's been, when it was revealed on the Today Show, it received enormous hate and negativity. The haters were first. To the point my mail was separated for the threat of letter bombs. My neighbors were afraid. Westboro Baptist Church sent letters to then Governor Howard Dean, to Bernie Sanders, Senator Patrick Leahy.
For those of you who are wondering, the Baptist church that she mentioned is based in the Midwest,
Topeka,
Kansas, and has promoted a really anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ image of itself. And I also heard that there was a hate group that attempted to come to Vermont and protest, but thankfully the Vermont winters prevented that from happening.
Yes, at the same time, the civil union bill was infuriating so many people. Here, the Vermont civil union bill. And it was the Westboro Baptist Church. They said they were coming and picketing in front of my studio. And what they sent was vile and hateful. And my neighbors were going to defend me. And there was some talk of shotguns and sidewalks and everything. And I'm telling, God has a sense of humor, because we did have the worst blizzard and they couldn't come then. They came later and ignored me at that point, but yeah.
My.
Yeah.
Well, we've already viewed the work that you created, Jesus of the People. Is there an opportunity to see some more of your works?
Sure.
And as we see them and as we present them, if you could also share what motivated or inspired this work, what message you wanted to convey through it, and what was the subject matter, and who was the model or models that you worked with.
Well, maybe I'd like to really acknowledge and thank the models who contribute their imagery to my work, because it is a real collaboration. Without them, I really couldn't do the level of work that I do. Maria Hill. People often ask me, well, how did you find that woman way up in Vermont where you are? I said, well, she doesn't live very far away from me. She lives, 15 miles, and I've painted her for years. She's been the subject of many paintings of Mary, and her children posed for me, and incredibly grateful to Maria still. I also really want to acknowledge Amy Robinson. She is another woman who, I can't believe I'm so blessed, but she's part of my family at this point. She is my son's greatest love, and she has joined forces with me and posed for many of my paintings. She's a gorgeous African-American woman. Couldn't do this work without her. And I also want to say, somehow, I've kind of backed into, well, maybe I pressured my son to pose for me too. But my son Simeon, what a force he is, and he has contributed his imagery to my work, and we'll see the image of Elijah that he really, he's posed for many paintings, but Elijah's really so powerful. His gentle spirit, his innate godliness, his connection to the sacred, and our bond. I mean, some of the love you have for somebody comes through the art you create. And it's true with these three people in particular. And I am just indebted to those three in particular. And I can mention another. Some years ago, I went down to St. Gaudens to see the work there by at St. Gaudens,
And where is this located?
Cornish, New Hampshire. And there was a guard who worked there, and there was a few people there, and there was a little group of women, older women, and they took a fancy to him. And they were ultimately kind of flirting with him, but teasing him relentlessly. And he was so kind and patient with them. And I had been looking for a model for Joseph for one of my paintings, and I needed to get to work, and I didn't have one anyway. I watched him be so gracious to these women, and on the way back, driving north, it hit me. He's Joseph. And I contacted him, and he came up and posed for me. And
Now, when you say Joseph, is this Joseph, the husband of Mary, or Joseph, in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat?
no, it's Mary's Joseph.
Okay.
And he came up and posed for me, and I have done many paintings of him. So Jose dos Anjos, and he's from Cape Verde. So yes, the most wonderful people have joined forces with me. So I just wanted to share that.
I'm so glad you did. And so we'll think of those individuals as we look at some of the works that you created here. Where do you want to start?
Well, we might as well start with Jesus of the People moving in the world. The first, this is the Women's March in 2016 in Washington. And it's important because the art has been taken up by groups across the country.
Yes.
And they carry it forward. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have it support needed change. And so, it's many times it's been moved in the world like this, but I just love this particular image. I think it's fearsome.
Yeah, well, as I view this work, I am reminded that even though there have been attempts by artists of color to convey Jesus in a non-Western persona, this is the image that has pretty much taken hold in the hearts and minds of people who wish to see Jesus in a different light. And when as you know, I am a minister, and when I came to Vermont, I made a point of visiting all the churches in my denomination in the state. One of my sons would accompany me, and whenever we arrived at a church, his first question was, "Where is Jesus?" And that would kind of an offshoot of, "Where is Waldo?" Because there was this common portrayal of Jesus as a white, blonde, or brown-haired, bearded Western individual.
I know.
And that was the common image that we saw in most churches throughout the country. I imagine throughout the world. And so this new image that you conveyed hit us like, I imagine for many, like a bolt of lightning, or in a positive way, a bolt of light that that opened our eyes to a new way of seeing sacred art and sacred imagery, not just from a Western perspective, but from a perspective that includes everyone. So I think it's becoming the image that people can most resonate with, in some ways overshadowing that old perspective, that old Western European perspective.
I'm very happy to hear that. Yes, you know, as I've toured Jesus and the people across the country over the years, people have come up to me and invariably they're excited. And they can't wait to tell me something. And now I know what they're going to tell me. I didn't initially. And they say, you won't believe this. This painting looks exactly like my sister. She's 14 years old, and then they bring someone to me. It's a little Asian girl. She looks nothing like the painting. And I know it's transcendence, that the inherent feeling in that painting has reached the heart of this person, and it's God at work, that she sees the godliness. There's this kind of transference that happens. It happens time and time again, and invariably the people don't look like the painting. And again, when I say I'm only the technician, and people say, "Oh, just you're too modest. Don't say that." Say, no, I know it's true.
Well, I love your modesty, but I also love the response that you're more than just a technician. You are a visionary that helps us to see life, the world, and people in a different way.
Thank you.
That is positive. Before we move on to some other works, I want to read a poem by an individual that was inspired by the work Jesus of the People. And as I read it, it seems as if this person, her name is Kaylee McAvoy, it seems as if she almost assumed your identity as she wrote this poem. And I'll just read it, and then we'll move on to some other works. This is what she says. This morning I woke up with a brush in my hand to deconstruct the image of a monotoned man who only reflects one side of salvation. The hieroglyphics of hierarchy have bleached your blemishes with despotism and domination since before I was conceived. But this morning it will change. This morning the silent voices of my ancestors will dance through the hues of your hair. This morning the persecuted presence of lost populations will thrive through the tones of your continents. This morning the cries of the Cherokee will ring through the satin of your garb, and the voices of bigotry will be silenced through the shading of every lost seeker. This morning the beauty of night and noir and noise will eradicate all limitations of my salvation, and my canvas will capture the beauty of each color in the world. This time the truth and hope and glory found in every drop of dew and every morsel of majesty will come alive on this easel. This time the splendor of my Savior will seep into sources it has never seen, because the brush I use has been erected by the fingers of fluid faith. This time I will paint your face with the color of water, your skin with the hue of a night sky, your body reflective of every person who has ever seen beauty in the moon. What a beautiful expression. What a beautiful testimony of your work.
Yeah, I was so honored. Her mother sent it to me.
Is that right?
She was so proud of her.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Kaylee. let's move on to some other works that you've done.
Okay. Mary and Jesus with the papel picado. So those in Burlington may recognize this piece because it's been on a banner outside of the Cathedral Church of St. Paul for some time. And one side is the image and the other side says, love your neighbor.
And that's where it's located, yes.
So when people are making the turn from Pearl Street to Battery, they will see it. And I just can't imagine a better message or location for that work. The church owns the original, which is in the nave, and it's a beautiful complement, I think, to the, excuse me, the modern architecture of the cathedral.
And that's where it's located in the nave. Can I ask who was the model?
There was a young woman who came down from Montreal with her mother and posed for me. Her name was Tracy.
I love it.
This painting was born from a place of, well, I lost someone in my family, a very young woman, and I wasn't able to paint for about 6 months. I was so upset at her passing. And eventually, this painting was born. And I have Mary holding Jesus as Mary would hold her. And I realized Mary was holding me, and Mary was holding every one of us. But I needed to see that kind of maternal love and safety. Once I did this painting, I was able to move on. And the papel picado was because that means paper perforations, and in Mexico, tissue paper, perforated paper is hung at weddings. And I had been at a wedding, and they had been hanging up, and I heard them blowing in the breeze, and I thought of her. So I did an interpretation of the papel picado in back of Mary and Jesus, although much larger and black, and it became not just a symbol of the cross, but also wings.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's one of those particular paintings that moves in the world. It's just been a very large print. I was just yesterday sent a photograph of a print of it in St. Mary's Hospital in Madison, Wisconsin, in an inclusive chapel of art of Mary of all different races.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by the fact that this was a creation that helped get you through a difficult time of loss. And I'm reminded of the passage from, I think it's from Isaiah, I will comfort you as a mother comforts. Or another passage, again, I think is from Isaiah, that says, if my mother and father forsake me, you will hold me up.
Oh, I love that.
So that's what this painting reminds me of.
You know, I remembered, I just wanted to remember that there was another passage, I bet you know it, it's eluding me right now. I will hold you in the safety of my wings.
Yes. And strangely enough, I think that also is from Isaiah, but I will get the specific passage and send it to you.
Thank you.
Because I'm curious now where it exactly is found. Thank you. Other works. I really want to devote as much time as possible to have viewers see and experience your creations here.
Thanks, Arnold. Yeah.
Oh my.
This is a very new work. It's called The Adoration of the Christ Child. And I feel so close to this because I have Mary leaning into Joseph. And Joseph so often is depicted as separate from the family. And I wanted him to be depicted as an important, integral figure. And this is what I have put on the back of this depiction. The adoration of the Christ child called to me. This interpretation reflects the mutual love Mary and Joseph have for their child, the Christ child. Mary leans in toward Joseph, while his hand securely supports the child's head. Joseph is presented in familial unity with Mary and the Holy Child, not set apart and distant as he is often portrayed. He is integral to this family, needed. The radiance of the child evolved naturally. The 14th century mystic Saint Bridget of Sweden recounted Christ's birth after experiencing a vision, and she described great and ineffable light emanating from the child, divine splendor. And when I did this painting, it was another one of these paintings where I really felt I was the technician, because I couldn't tamp down the radiance of the child. The balance of the painting needed that child being lighter than Mary and Joseph. And the radiance just was determined to show.
It's beautiful.
And
Often Joseph is depicted as a very elderly man, and it almost seems as if the marriage between Joseph and Mary was one that was arranged by parents, in which he probably had very little say in the matter. So Joseph exits the scene at a very early time in Scripture. By the time Jesus is an adult, Joseph is no longer there. We assume that he probably died of old age. So we don't see Joseph around all that much as far as biblical stories are concerned.
well, you know, one of the things I love to do with my work is to make it as useful and broad as possible. And I hope my interpretations of Joseph inspire young men to be nurturing, to honor their paternal side, their love for their children, and to honor that. I think that's very useful and important right now.
Yeah.
So I hope this work contributes to that.
I think it does. I think it does. By the way, I need to let my audience know, the viewers know, that while the works that we're displaying and the artists that we're speaking to, her work is mostly conveyed in a Christian format. It is mainly the message that I think your work conveys that in many ways touches me as very inclusive. And so in this holiday season where we celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and other important religious festivals, I am struck and hope that the work that we are seeing here, even though it comes out of a Christian perspective, also speaks in ways that include others as well. And so I just want to make that point.
That absolutely. And one of the things that thrills me is my work, we're particularly on Facebook. I have so many friends that I went to high school with, primarily Jewish girls. They're right there for me 100%, tell me how much they love the work and support me. I can't tell you how inspiring that is to have them part of this journey with me.
Yeah. I also remember when we celebrated the 20th anniversary of Jesus of the People, there was a panel that included people from different faith traditions talking about how important that work was.
Yes, exactly. It's a great memory.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
It was.
Let's see some other works of yours.
This is Elijah. Here's the still small voice of God. And this is the painting my son Simeon posed for. This painting is real close to my heart. He gave 100%, and well, so did I. And this is a painting that affects people, a lot of people. And I think it's very, very useful right now in these times we're living through.
Oh, yeah.
That are so violent. And what I love about this is beyond the earthquake, the floods, the fires, in our case, the enormous violence, God is still present. God was present to Elijah, and God is present to us in spite of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't mind my interjecting my theological points.
Yes.
Elijah was fleeing threats to his life. And he found himself on Mount Horeb, which is the equivalent of Mount Sinai. And that's where he encountered the presence of God. And God encouraged him to turn about and face the enemy, the problems that he was running away from. And the way he encountered that presence was not through the hurricanes, not through the very visible presence that one would normally expect God to be seen from, but through the still small voice. And so you captured that wonderfully, perfectly in this painting.
That's a message for all of us.
Yes, at this time too.
So needed. That reminder is so needed.
I'm thinking of immigrants who are fleeing from the persecution that is being inflicted unfortunately by our government upon them, and how a painting such as this, a work such as this, can encourage trust in goodness despite the overwhelming odds that they and others face right now. Thank you.
This is touches my heart. This is Reverend Stan Baker, Dean at the Cathedral Church of St. Paul, and
In Burlington.
And Stan passed away a couple of months ago, suddenly. And he had a protest once a week. He was out there with others, and they protested. Then he used my work. And in this case, Elijah is paired with let all that you do be done in love, because that's the bottom of the message. There isn't much more beyond that. This is on Pearl Street in Burlington. Many people carry my work in this format forward.
Yes, that's another thing that I'm impressed by. Is not, your works are not such that just hang on the walls. They're carried on posters and placards, and as a sign as a testament to others as well.
I hope so. I mean, people carry them at the border, the southern border.
Yeah.
I don't want the work to be relegated to being overly precious. It's meant to do the work it's here to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for those who carry it forward. It's a real collaboration.
Yeah. I'm curious, in what ways are there events or settings or experiences that you have personally been involved in that where your works have been conveyed that really struck you in a very meaningful, memorable sort of way?
Many times, but especially, I would say in 2019, the end of 2000, right before COVID, I was invited to be a presenter at the Universal Christ Conference in Albuquerque, and it was run by the Center for Action and Contemplation, which Father Richard Rohr founded.
Oh, yeah, great.
And I spoke before 2,300 people with another 2,800 webcasting. And we had a very similar, not a conversation, but I spoke about the work in a similar way. But one of the best things about it was there was with so many people at the Albuquerque Convention Center, there was an interior space that was darkened, created a gallery for the art to be in. And I think there's some photos of that will show here. This is one of them here. Mm-hmm. And people would periodically leave that enormous cavernous space and come in and sit with the work, and many of them were crying, and it was a great space of centering, and it allowed me to see how the work functioned, the purpose of it, how it conveyed what was needed at the time. Mm-hmm. For people, spiritually, emotionally.
Yeah.
And that was, well, first of all, it was really overwhelming to speak before that many people because I'm not a speaker, I'm just a reclusive artist. But I really felt it was important to support the art out in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, it is sometimes the work speaks for itself. You don't have to say anything. To just be in the presence of something like this speaks volumes. And so
this is also in Albuquerque. This is Tim Shriver. He is I think his term is president of the Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. He is one of the Kennedy family.
I was about to say, Sergeant Shriver. That's.
Yeah. Yeah, he was greatly moved by Jesus of the People, and there was a very big crowd of people out on the plaza. And it was a very moving experience on so many levels. And you mentioned this was
in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. This is inside again at the inner display of the work.
This was in Nigeria, wasn't it?
This is in Nigeria. It's the daughters of, oh gosh, it's Our Mother. I know I'm not getting the order's name correct, but, and this wonderful woman whose name also eludes me, she hand-carried Jesus of the People, a print of it to them. And I've loved the joy that they all project in this image. And there was a priest, too. He was called the Flying Priest.
The Flying Priest.
Yeah. And he took prints of Jesus of the People into Tanzania. He contacted me and told me he had done that. So. Yeah.
And I don't know if we'll get to see this, but your works have also conveyed Native Americans and people of Asian descent in sacred sort of ways as well.
That's right. Yeah, I did a painting of Our Lady of Lavang back in, I think it was 1798. There was a vision of Mary and Jesus in Vietnam.
Ah,
And there were 1,200 Vietnamese devout Catholics, and they were starving and they were abused for their faith. And she appeared to them, and they provided them, told them how to find food. And she's revered, and I painted an interpretation of Mary and Jesus. So it was meaningful to me to do that.
well, before we, are there other works that you want to show?
Are there any more on that file there? Is Sanctuary on there? Oh, this is Sanctuary,
This
I'm
is Sanctuary,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here's the quote. Yes. Let me live forever in your sanctuary, safe beneath the shelter of your wings. Psalm 61. Oh, this painting, well, you asked me about an important exhibit. Not so much an exhibit, but this painting this past June was exhibited on the pulpit at the Basilica of St. Mary in Minneapolis at the funerals of Representative Melissa.
Oh, who was
Horton
assassinated? Yeah.
and her husband. And then there's the most amazing photograph of the painting on the pulpit with their coffins in front of the altar and the congregation facing forward. And this image of Mary, to my mind, and I didn't know it was going to be displayed there, looking over the congregation to them. And I felt like she was providing, hopefully, a measure of comfort to their children who were there, and President Biden and Vice President Harris. And I watched that Mary looking out over them, and it touched me. It's another case of the art going where it's called.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the also the service in, was it, you said Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, yes, the Basilica of St. Mary. Is there another one? This is the image. Except you can't see the painting here, but it's on the pulpit.
Yes, and so the placing of that, as you mentioned, over the coffins.
It's to the side over here. If the image extended, you could see it there. But on my website, Johann von Paries is the director of Sacred Art and Liturgy at the Basilica. And he discusses the Basilica's acquisition of sanctuary. And he discusses the need for us to confront racism in an important way. So it's a very, very great statement that he makes. So if anybody's interested, they really should find the link on my website.
And that's actually the next question I was going to ask you. How might we further avail ourselves of your work?
Well, my website's the best place, www.janetmckenzie.com, or Facebook, Kingdom Artist.
You are held by holy You are held by holy angels, holy angels, all around you. You are held by holy angels, holy angels, all around you. We are holding you. You can
In Burlington, actually, April Cornell purchased a painting of mine, and she has it in her store. The Saints Perpetua and Felicitas, Sisters in Christ, and we discussed at length whether it was appropriate. And I really felt Jesus would want them in the marketplace. And women love finding them there. There they are, in this wonderful two African saints that supported each other and died together, were martyred together. Another place you can see my art is Main Street Landing. Melissa Moulton acquired a piece of mine a couple years ago. And also, of course, at the Cathedral Church of St. Paul.
Great,
Yeah.
great. I must admit also there's a, and it's very appropriate about this time, where instead of a scene or painting of the Magi, the wise men, so to speak, you have wise women surrounding Mary and Jesus. And I thought, how amazing, how appropriate, how wonderful this painting is. That's another favorite of mine.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that painting made a lot of people angry.
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Oh, then good. we should have our feathers ruffled now and then.
I think so.
Well, Janet McKenzie, it has been a privilege and an honor to have you with us.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that this will be one of many opportunities to have you here on the Talk Vermont in the future.
Thank you, Arnold.
We have a lot to learn from your work as well as from your spirit. It is so needed this day and age.
Thank you, Arnold. I feel the same way about you.
Well, thank
and you're
you.
a good work in the world. Thank you for what you do.
Oh, you're most welcome. And thank you for joining us on this segment of the Talk Vermont. Starting next year, we will begin with another artist who is going to talk about theater of the oppressed. And this is a friend of mine who I met when I served the Riverside Church in New York City. And he's going to talk about the work that he has done. His name is Jeremiah Drake, and show us how that particular medium of expression and art serves individuals who are looking for peaceful and effective ways of addressing their problems in the world. So I hope you'll join us, and you should also know that starting next year, you will be able to connect with us online. You connect with us through phone. We'll have a phone network, so you can call us and ask questions of of our speakers. And so you're not just hearing me, we're hearing you who greatly support the work that we're doing here. So I hope you'll join us. It will be the first Tuesday of every month, except for Town Meeting Day, which is on in March. We'll probably come at you at a different time, because the first Tuesday in March is an important gathering for those of you who live outside the state of Vermont, where people vote on many important issues that affect their local community. It's called Town Meeting Day, and so we may not come to you at that particular time, but other than that, you can expect us the first Tuesday of each month starting next year around 5:30. Thank you for joining us, and in the meantime, be kind, be brave, and be blessed. Happy holidays.
Let's talk about our hopes and dreams. Beyond the reach it seems. Let's talk. Confess I live in hell. I failed to fall in scheme. Maybe we can find a pathway forward or a clue. So we may together be a symbiotic harmony, where I can talk to you, you can talk to me. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.